Good evening, dear students. So this is the fifth session. Um, please come as early as possible. 8 students are there. Please come as early as possible. 8 students are there. Hi, Murlidhar. Please come as early as possible. 8 students are there. Hi, Murlidhar. Please come as early as possible. 8 students are there. ये आवाज किधर से आ रहा है रविराज? अच्छा, आपकी वजह से.
Someone doesn't mute. It's not from my side. Someone doesn't mute.
Now it is okay. Hi Teja. Hi to all. 11 members are watching. Good evening Yashwant. Hi Krishnamauli. Good evening Santosh. Good evening Sai. So this is the fifth session. We will continue this session. At the end of the session, as usual, you will get 30 minutes. You can clarify all your doubts. The today's session is 1 minute. Today's session is key term used during computer system validation. Okay. Good evening, Rajgopal. 14 members are came now. Shall we start, sir? Almost 15 members are came. So we given
Issue is
8:15.
Your voice is repeating.
Shall we start, sir? Almost 15 members are came. So we given 8:15.
Your voice is repeating.
Shall we start, sir? Almost 15 members are came. So we given 8:15.
Can I join one time? Once again?
Yes, sir. Almost 15 members are came.
Just a minute.
So we given 8:15.
Can I join one?
Hi Nagaraju. Hi Pritesh Mishri. Good evening all. One thing I have to tell one and all, if something you are not understanding, you have to convey to the trainer, or you have understanding well, that also you have to convey to trainer or me. That will help
Okay.
me
Now
a
it's
lot.
fine.
Now it's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Almost 70 members. Okay, sir. Over to you.
Okay. So can we start?
Yes, over to you.
Okay, just a minute.
Hi, Vaibhav. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, my weekly off, I will go to lab work in PhD lab, but I am available 24 hours in phone. Those you have any doubts, you can message me or you can call me directly. Thank you.
Okay. Is
Okay,
it visible?
sir. Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So good evening once again. Today's session is for key terms used during computer system validations. So these are key terms means there are some words or there's some technical words, we can say that's scientific words which will be useful for your as a interview purpose, for preparing some SOPs or some policies for that. And this key term means this type of word is used in pharma industry, CROs, and in IT fields. But someone doesn't have this type of knowledge or they are not clear for that. So we try to serve best and make sense for that. And we find some difference from Google or some other sites. So it will be included in many regulatory agencies, or it will be helpful for to facing the some interview and during policy preparation. So, what is the index? We one by one define and understand the concept of this deliver means key terms, which is helpful and used during computer system validation and during your operation. So, first one is black box and white box testing. What is it, and what is the difference between them? Then open system and closed system. Then what is a legacy system in pharma industry, and what is the meaning of legacy? And then a hybrid system. So how we define hybrid system, or you can say that which system is under hybrid system. Then electronic records, then electronic signature and digital signature, and what is the difference between electronic signature and digital signature. So someone confused between what is the difference between this signature, and it's a part of 20 on CFR Part 11 uh, that your system must have to follow the 20 on CFR Part 11 for electronic records and signatures. And the last one is data backup. So it's include restoration of the data, then archival of data, then retrieval of it, and the data retention. So this terminology is used for SOP preparation of related to IT, and related to CSV, and related to compliance point of view, means it's in qualification activity or a validation activity. So first one is black box, and what is white box. So I generally want to say that if we going to any shopping mall and buy laptop, or we can say it buy a, if you buy a mobile, then what do you do with it? You doesn't know which type of configuration is there, how the coding is done in that system. We just know that which type of versioning there, means what is the Android version, what is iOS version, which features is there, means how many pixel in camera, what is the internal memory, external memory, what is the RAM. So you don't know the programming, or how the mobile is built and how its functionality is working. You just know how to use it, which type of facility or functionality it is available, and we just click the camera photo with camera, and zoom out and zoom in that the image is working means fine, and can we want to buy it or not. So it's called a black box test, means you doesn't know the testing, means you doesn't know the programming of it. You just know and the behavior of that function. So it's a black box test. It is a test that only considers the external behavior of the system. So you doesn't aware with the programming which is used to make the system. The internal working of the software is not taken into account. That's called black box test. So in generally, during validation, this type of testing is used, because during validation you doesn't if you don't know the programming, because you are not developer, and you have to just check the how the behavior of the system and the functionality is working. So no any technical knowledge is required for the programming of the system. Then what is the white box testing? So in white box, you know the programming, you know the ladder logic, how the function is built, and how the function is working into the system, means backend side of the system. So in white box test, it's a method used to test a software taking into consideration with its internal functioning, means you know the programming language, how the function is built, and what how it will working. So in white box testing, it's carried out by software developer. In black box testing, it's carried out by the tester. So tester doesn't require the software developer knowledge if he or she doing the black box testing. So black box testing is used in system testing or acceptance testing. Means in some validation qualification activity, black box testing is used. Either and the white box testing is used from the developer side. Means unit testing means which type of module is prepared and it is working as per defined programming language. So white box testing is used by the software developer. Black box testing is it required less time, means less time consuming, and either and the white box testing is more time consuming. So you have the trial and error method for white box testing by programming change or by one testing of the functionality with develop the code. Black box testing is a behavior testing of the software, and the white box testing is a logic testing. Means the how the logic or how the program is built in whatever the language, C++, Java, or HTML. So the software developer know the language, so he change the functionality if it is not proper in the white box testing. In black box testing, it is also known as a data driven testing, functional testing, or we can say validation testing, and closed box testing. Black box test is not considered for algorithm testing. So no any algorithm which is built for scripting of the any language. So they are not considered it in black box testing. And the white box testing scenario is that it is the logic testing of the software, means step by step all step which is programmed in the Java language or C language, C++ is there. So it is tested in white box testing. The white box testing is known as also clear box testing, code based testing, or structure based testing, and transparent testing. So in white box, the transparency is there between the code prepared and the functionality, how the function is working. White box test is well suitable for algorithm testing. So developer generally doing the white box testing from their end. So they know the language of it, they build the software, and by this white box testing, they confirm the functionality is working as per the requirement or as per they want. And from our side, we test the black box testing. Means we doesn't require any knowledge of the different languages used for system. We just check the how the functionality is working, means it's outer behavior, and how the system is working in routine operation. So I hope it is clear. And moving to the next, what is the open system and closed system? So as per 21 CFR Part 11, the definition is also defined, but uh, just focus on the what is the word or say terminologies want to say. So it's an open system. It is open for all. We generally say that I can access the system or the science from anywhere, means in World Wide Web, or we can say that in normal broadband or in normal website. So we can access the Google, we can access Gmail from anywhere. We can access the Google Drive from anywhere by just logging into Google. So it's an open system. So as per 21 CFR Part 11, the definition of open system means it's an environment in which system access is not controlled by person who are responsible for the content of electronic records that are on the system. Means open system have that type of environment which is didn't control by the any particular firm or by the company. So it is open for all. So anyone or anywhere can you can get access of that system. And the uh, closed system, it means it's a closed environment, means no one can get access without the authorized permission, or we can say that it's a uh, uh, LAN type of network. We generally know that what is LAN and WAN, means local area network. So it is secured, and so it is secured with your IT team or by your company. So as per definition of from 20 on CFR Part 11, closed system means it's an environment in which system access is controlled by person who are responsible for the content of electronic records that are on the system. So without permission of that people or that company, no one can get the access of that server or of that website or the system. So that's called a closed system. So a computer system where user access is not controlled by the same people responsible for its content. So that's called open system. And in closed system, a computer system whose user access is controlled by the same people responsible for its content, means any modification or any functionality if you want to change, then in closed system, so that people can change that functionality or that parameter. And in open system, anyone can get the access and can change that functionality of it. So, in open system, company cannot confirm the identity of all users prior to providing access to the electronic record system. So there is no any login facility, or we can say that without any identity, anyone can get that access. So you can't find what is the who is responsible for getting that access. In addition to electronic signature, digital signature are also required to verify the identity of the person signing the document. And in closed system, the company can confirm the identity of all users, means login facility is there. So by login, company can identify who get the access. So some audit trail is there. So generally, this type of system is used in pharma industry. So we can say it's a closed, and we can say in other words it's a secured system for that company. So moving to the next, which type of controls for open system? Person who use open system to create, modify, maintain, or transmit electronic records shall employ procedure and control designed to ensure the authenticity, integrity as appropriate. The confidentiality of electronic records from the point of their creation to the point of their receipt. Such procedure and control shall be appropriate, and additional measures such as document encryption and use of appropriate digital signature standards to ensure as necessary under the circumstances. Record authenticity, integrity, and confidentiality. So in open system, uh, there is no any login history or identity for the who is used it, and it's not controlled, so anyone can get the access, or it's maybe in data violation or in data breaching. So in closed system, there are many controls for that. So generally all the system which are used in production environment or in your company's server, so that's called a closed system. In closed system, validation is there, that how it is possible to or not to get access from anywhere, or how is the security for used is defined and used to access the server. So in closed system, we generally verify the security of the system, what is the access for that, If you want to give some modification or some access to the vendor or service provider, then it is encrypted or it is secured by the identity of that vendor, so no one can get the access without company's permission, or we can say that it is secured in company premises. So these are the control defined by 20 CFR Part 11. So as I said that it is we use closed system to create, modify, maintain, or transmit electronic record, self-employed procedure, and control designed to ensure the authenticity, integrity, and when appropriate, the confidentiality of electronic records. As I already said, the validation of system is required to ensure the accuracy, reliability, consistent intended use, its performance, and the functionality. The ability to generate accurate and complete copies of record in both human readable and electronic form suitable for inspection. So in closed system, uh, you have standard reports, audit trail is there to face the audits and for as a compliance point of view. So in closed system, protection of record is there, so data storage, data archival facility, SOP is there, some policies to verify system functionality periodically is there. So in closed system, limiting system access, as I already said that without permission, anyone, no one can get the access. If you want to give access for any maintenance or any modification to the vendor, then it will be authorized or it will be in secure environment, or in, we can say in a secure server. Use of secure computer generated timestamp audit trail is there. As I said that secure reports is available in closed system to verify the identity, to verify the functionality or any parameter is changed, and who is responsible for it. So by the audit trail and by the records and report, we verify uh, what is the functionality is changed and who is responsible for it. So use of operational system checks to enforce permitted sequencing of steps and events as appropriate, which will be reflected in audit trail and reports. So moving to the next is also continue from previous slide. So use of authority checks means identity, and use of device means checks to terminate appropriate validity means validation qualification is there of the functionality of the system, input from operational instruction. So determination that person who develop, maintain, or use electronic records signature system have the education, training, experience to perform their assigned task. Means training record is required to use the system because it is in closed environment. So by training, you were aware that what is the impact if you violate the data. So no any data integrity issues happen, and the system is in a secure manner, and no any observation as a compliance point of view. So all person or we can say the all employees are well need to be well trained to use the system, which is a closed system. The establishment of any adherence to written policies that hold individual accountable and responsible for action initiated under their electronic signature in order to deter records and signature falsification. So, well trained staff is required to uh, comply the system policy or system operation. So this is the closed system. So any pharma industry, generally we prefer closed system to make just to make our system secure, confident, and we can verify the identity of the person or responsibility of the person by the reports and audit trial. So generally we prefer closed system to secure our data, to secure our companies critical data, and by this closed system we can control and evaluate it is if something is in non-compliance. So moving to the next, it is legacy system. Just a minute. So in a legacy system means a outdated system which doesn't want to use, or which require some more maintenance, or some technically we can say that some more features available in new system. So we doesn't want to use that system. That's called a legacy system. So a legacy system is outdated computing software or hardware that is still in use. The system still meets the needs it was originally designed, or but doesn't allow for growth. Means we can I want to some give some example which is in routine use. It's a Walkman. It's one type of a dabba TV which is we you already used in our childhood. Some cassettes are there, some floppy disks are there. So they are legacy system. We can use it, but it requires some more space. It is some we can say that it's costly. Its maintenance is very high. So what a legacy system does now for the company is all it will ever do. A legacy systems means oldest technology won't allow it to interact with newer system. So if you have the CD, but currently we doesn't have the CD player in our house, so you how you can see the pictures from that CD. Just I want to say that if you have some cassettes of that Walkman, but if you have MP3 means a player which doesn't have doesn't support that cassette, so how you can play it? It's means it's a old aged system which doesn't require, but many technologies are there which can reduce the space and improve whatever the entertainment or whatever the performance of the system. So this can also imply that the system is out of date or in need of replacement. Means some replacement required for that system, or it is outdated, or say we can say that it's old aged system. So if you be using this type of system, that's so many problem is there during your operation. It means maintenance is costly because uh, parts is already absolute or no doesn't manufactured by the service provider or by the manufacturer. So maintenance required, it's more costly. Data is stuck in network, so it doesn't support current scenario of the network or of the server. So data backup or data archiving procedure, whatever related to data, it is stuck. Compliance is much harder. So day by day regulatory agency or regulatory guidelines is update. So based to fulfill that requirement of regulatory, we have to modify, or we can say that we have to upgrade our system based on that requirement. So as it's so compliance point of view, it is very hard for the legacy system. Security gets weaker by the day by day. A new system doesn't integrate. If we want to integrate some another system with legacy system, so there is no functionality to integration of another system within a legacy system. So we facing that type of issue in legacy system. So coming to the next, hybrid system. As you see the pictures right side of the PPT, in a hybrid system, electronics record is there, means electronics record with electronic with paper based record is there, and the person is signed on the printed reports, and so it's an environment consisting of both electronic as well as paper. So in paper frequently characterized by handwritten signature executed on that paper. So some system have hybrid concept, means uh, by if you get the report, then you have to take a sign as a handwritten in that report that show the authenticity of you of the users. So an example of hybrid system is the one in which the system user generates an electronic record using a computer based system, as I already said, and then the signature is required on that uh, record or on that report as per regulatory requirements. So it's called a hybrid system. However, the system does not have an electronic signature option, so the user has to print out the report and sign the paper copy. Now he has an electronic record and a paper, means a handwritten signature. The system has an electronic and a paper component, hence the term hybrid is used. So always hybrid system are clearly defined and identified, and that each contributing element of the system is validated. So why this type of hybrid system is required? Because system generate the reports, but uh, after printing, you must have to ensure that report is generated as it is the you know, display on the screen, or whatever the parameter is set in that system. So by signature on that paper, you authenticate that the report is similar, or we can say it's the same as defined parameter or defined functionality in that system. So term hybrid system is there for combination of electronic records and the paper based, means handwritten signature. So moving to next, electronic records. So as per 20 CFR Part 11, electronics records is a one type of uh, report. We can say that it's a combination of text, graphics, company logo, data, audio, picture, or other information, means system parameter is there, batch cycle name or batch parameter is there. So the information which will be printed in the paper, or we can say is a system generated report, that's called electronic records. So it will be used for maintenance or archival, retrieval, or distributed by a computer system. This definition ensures that electronic records are the same as paper records, but it's generated by the system. That's why it's called electronic. The next one is electronic signature and a digital signature. As you see, as you see that in picture, electronic signature, it's a one type of image or the combination of the symbols or image which is executed and printed on that paper. But as the definition from 20 CFR Part 11 for electronic signature is, it's a computer data compilation of any symbol or series of symbol executed, adopted, or authorized by an individual to be the legally binding equivalent of the individual's handwritten signature. So, in 20 CFR Part 11 contains requirements to ensure that the electronic signature have the legal standing equivalent to a person handwritten signature. Means it's an image of handwritten signature. If I place on that report, uh, so it's become a electronic signature. So by doing so ensure data integrity while reducing fraud and security concern. And the second one is digital signature, which is defined by 21 CFR Part 11 as a digital signature is more secure than electronic signature. So in digital signature, some cryptography graphic is your method is used. We can say that if we log in into any bank website or any government website, their login and password is required, means login ID and password, which we have to enter. After that, some OTP is there, so it's another type of security. So in digital signature, it is more secured, or we can say it is encrypted, in encrypted form. So it's a method of organizer. It's required authentication computed by using a set of rules and a set of parameters such that identity of the signer and the integrity of the data can be verified. Means it's a time-stamped ODTAL is there for digital signature, login ID and password. So is there. So user must have to enter user ID and password to complete the action. So that's called a digital signature. So what is the difference between them? So electronic signature and what is digital signature? In electronic signature, a signature or electronic signature is defined as a signature in electronic form. In simple words, we can say that when a signature is signed a document through electronic form and not with wetting, it is known as electronic signature. As I said that it's a replica of your handwritten signature, means your image of that your handwritten signature in a report or in a record. That's called a electronic signature. It can be symbol, image, or a group of image, a group of symbol process attached to the message or document to organize the identity and to give consent to it. And moving to digital signature, it's a combination of encryption, identity of the user by authorization of the user, and the verification is there. So it must be validated and must be in secure form. So it's a digital signature can be visualized as a electronic fingerprint that encrypts and identify the person identity. So nowadays, digital signature is more secure than electronic signature. Electronic signature is used for verifying a document, and digital signature is used for securing a document. The validation of electronic signature is not performed by any trusted certificate authority or trust service provider, and the digital signature validation must be required, and it will be verified by some trust authority or certificate is there for digital signature. So in electronic signature, it is not usually authorized, and digital signature is authorized by some user or group of user. Electronic signature does not incorporate any coding or standard, and digital signature have the encryption for that, and it shows some standard for it for authenticity and to secure the data integrity. Electronic signature is less secure compared to digital signature, and digital signature is more secure to compared to electronic signature. And the digital signature is a type of electronic signature, but a digital signature is more authenticate, more secure, and it is in encrypted form, and some authentication or trusted certificate is there for digital signature. So this is a difference between electronic signature and digital signature. Next one is data backup. So in data backup, we doing restoration, archival, retrieval, and data retention. So data backup is a process. We already know that we generally using, I want backup of this file, I want a backup of this memory card, or say we can say it's a hard disk is there. So it's a process of creating a copy of the data on your system that you use for recovery in case your original data is lost or corrupted. You can also use backup to recover copies of folder files if you have deleted them then from your system. So if you have the data backup of your system or your folder, then you can restore it. So you create some copy or say replica of that folder or that system. So that's called a data backup. So in organization of data backup as per game 5, so data should be periodically saved on backup media, or means in a server or in some drive is there. The system owner should establish and document the organization of data backup, covering the following aspects. Means this type of terminology, or we can say that a process is used in pharma industry or any secured firm, that how the data is backup, and if any malfunction is there or any system is corrupt, so we can use or we can restore that data which is already backup. So you can define types of data backup. It is full backup, or it is in incremental backup, means one by one so system or say data, it is uh, in incremental form. Or you can say that same replica is there, means same copy is there, then it's called a full backup. And some defined interval is there in your SOP. It's related to IT, so it's required a daily backup. So you can set some frequency or some time is there, on which time the backup is started and stopped, and afterwards second day you can verify it is done or not done. So by the routine activity of data backup, you can get secure file, or if any loss is there, if any circumstances occur which is not driven by a process, so you can replace your system as it is by doing this type of activity of data backup. So it's maybe required daily backup, then based on that daily backup, weekly backup is there, then monthly backup, quarterly backup, annual backup, and non-cycle backup. Means if you want to retire or absolute any system, then full backup is there. So furthermore, no any data backup is required in routine operation. So system is permanently terminate, or you can say that it is in absolute form. Data backup, in data backup, data restoration is there. If you want to save some data, then I use data backup. But if any malfunction is there, system is corrupt, or any problem is occur, I want um, uh, means I recover the system by the restoration of that data. So data restoration is the process of copying backup data from secondary storage and restoring it to its original location or a new location. Restore is performed to return data that has been lost, stolen, or damaged to its original condition, or to move data to a new location. So, data restoration is the process of a reverse process of data backup. Data archival is the process of moving data that is no longer actively used to a separate store. It means data is stored to some place or some in a file, or it's maybe in a, location of server. So data is stored which is no longer used in routine operation. That's called data archival. Means after data backup, you store that file, or we can say that floppy disk, whatever it is, in secure environment. That's called data archival. So, archived data consists of older data that is still important to the organization and may be needed for further reference, as well as data that must be retained for regulatory compliance. So, if you have data archival facility, so you can present any previous data to the audit, to the regulatory compliance point of view. Then next, data retrieval. So, data retrieval is the process by which data is selected and extracted from a file, a group of file, or a database. Means data retrieval is done after data restoration. So, data in data backup, you create some zip file or compressed some data is there. So, in data retrieval is the process you unzip that file and retrieve the data in its original form. The data retention is the defined period. So, how long we want that data. So, based on your company requirement and regulatory guideline, you must have to store data for 5 years, for 10 years, for 25 years. So, data retention is the period, is the storing of information for a specified period. Data retention is relevant to business that store data to service their customers and comply with government or industry regulations. Data retention is critical for modern organization. So, in future, if you want to dig, means digging the what is the problem was already occurred in past 5 years or in 10 years, if you want to analyze some event or make some scenarios for becoming project or becoming business view. So based on the data retention period, you can get the access from of previous data, or any regulatory is there, or any audit purpose. If data is available for a long period, so you can meet the compliance point of view, or there is compliance of data integrity for regulatory audit. So it's called data retention. So data backup, restoration, archival, retrieval, and data retention. So every industry have this SOP for it. It is in generally in consideration with IT department, and it's over. Thank you, all of you.
Hello. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So almost 22 students are watching this video.
Okay. So today's session is very useful for your industry. So many are confusing for this type of terminology, and many questions are there during your interview. Just they ask that what is the difference between this and this. So it doesn't if you are not required that what is the definition, but you must have to clear the basic concept of it and what is mean by. So it is very helpful for your interview preparation.
If any doubts are there, if any queries are there, you can ask here. So almost 50 minutes are completed. Where is Shiva today? Ashok Chaudhary, Ramakrishna.
If data is lost, how can we find the data lost one? So before the data lost, you must have to use a data backup procedure for it. So if you have data backup procedure for it, so you can restore and retrieve the data from that data backup. So data backup is required for it. Is the open system has audit trail? It depends upon the system, but in closed system, audit trail which is required must. Truly, it's very important session today. Thank you. This terminology are defined. Some terminology defined in Game 5, but some I already added from some others SOPs for that. So during interview, you can get confused by this terminology, or during SOP preparation or any policy preparation, you didn't clear without this terminology. So it is very useful. Today's session is very useful for all of you. Okay, any question? What is algorithm testing? It's one type of ladder logic, or which we can say that testing based on the programming. If this functional is not evaluated, then what is the error for that? So this terminology used for Java, or we can say in C++. So it's related to technical or in IT field. How did we migrate legacy data into the new system? So it's very critical situation to migrate the data from legacy system. So you have must have to put in manually in a new system, or we can say that if any procedure which will supported by the older system provider and new system provider, so you can combine or fetch some data from that legacy system in by encrypting form to the new system. So it depends upon which type of system which we already used, and what is the new system. Electronic signature, digital signature, which is used in industry. Both signature are used. Sometime it's required authentication, means user ID and password is there. So it's called a digital signature. And we some in some reports we just use a handwritten signature. Thank you for today's session. Thank you, Nisa. Closed system and open system. Any please give example. Which system are used in our production environment? That's called a closed system. And we can say that your company website, it's in open system, so anyone can get the access of your company's website in Google. So an open system. Example of complete electronic system in pharma. Electronic system, or we can say that electronic records. Did we directly migrate legacy data into the production server or validation server? So it depends upon how the system is linked with a server, and how you fetch data from your test server to production server. What is SCADA system? It's related to CSV. Yes, SCADA system is one type of computer generated, it's a automated system with touch display, and with a function with so also functionality of it. So it is computer system. So CSV is required in SCADA system. So SCADA, HMI, these are the terminology of automated system. Also PLC is there. So for all of this, a CSV is required. most of the pharma company use hybrid software system. So is there any software which is only electronic based? So I uh, doesn't know the what is the question is that, and what is which is only electronic based. It's currently all the system which are prepared, which have electronic signature, and there are 21 CFR Part 11 compliance. So digital signature is there, means authenticity of your user ID and password to execute the functionality. It is there in currently using system. Okay, anything else? Vaibhav, thank you. Difference between full backup and incremental backup, and which is best depend upon your server size. Incremental backup is one type of uh, over backup, means if I have 10 GB data, then 9 GB data is backup, but 1 GB data is fluctuate, means I working on that 1 GB, then after 1 days or 3 days only 1 GB data is backup in incremental form, means already stored the 9 GB data, which is not backup because there is no change in that 9 GB data. So in incremental backup, it's consume your data, and it's in proper way. But for that, if you have must secured and some software is that create incremental backup. And for that full backup, my all backup is already removed from that server or from that data. Then original replica of that original backup is moved from, means it's copy from original to that server or that disk. That's called a full backup. Thank you, sir. I think today's session is most useful for pharma field employees. Thank you. So this session is very helpful for the freshers, and we from who are new in the pharma industry, because this type of definition we generally doesn't see in the any SOPs. So we are confused. What is the SOPs want to say, and what is the mean by it? So I gather some terminology or some word from day-to-day routine or some SOPs from policies and from interviews. So I define it is in here. How much longer the digital data should be stored as per GameFi? So GameFi doesn't have to say that what is the longer period of data. It's depend upon a regulatory agency which you have to follow, or based on the client's requirement. Or sometimes in CRO, some clients say that please keep 20 years backup of our data which is already generated. So based on uh, companies or different regulatory requirements, you must have to define the data backup. LAN, it's local area network, means it's a secure network, means it's defined in your in local environment. As we already know in childhood, we learn about LAN and WAN. It's local area network and wide area network. And the www.com, which we are using, it's the www means world wide web. So in word you can get access of that WAN means wide area network. It's an example in terminology of the computer. Okay, I
Okay.
think all terminology are clear for today.
If you
So
have any other questions, you can type your questions in comment box. So almost 1 hour completed, 1 hour 2 minutes. So we
okay,
are closing this session. If anything is there, you can message below this video. Thank you,
okay.
Ananda. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you everyone. Good night.
Good night.